Okay, you need to understand secured and unsecured. Secured items are those that if you don't make your payments, they can come take it away from you. Unsecured, they can't come take it away from you. Typically, cars and houses and large items are those that are secured. What's unsecured? That TV you bought on your Capital One card. Capital One does not have the right to come take your TV because you purchased it. So that was an unsecured item. So what can you do then with the secured items? You can surrender it. You can just say, I'm going to let this thing go. You can redeem it. The redemption is a little bit complex in that when you redeem something, you do that because it's something you want to keep. Let's say you've got a car that is worth $30,000. Well, the exemption for a car is only $15,000 of equity, and it's paid for. You've got a $30,000 car, and you want to keep it. You can do that by redemption, but you're going to have to find somebody to lend you the money to buy out the trustee, because the trustee is entitled to everything, all equity greater than the exemption. So that's one way redemption works. The other way that a redemption works, it can be really in your favor, and that is that you've got a $15,000 car that you owe $30,000 on. If you can find a lender that will finance that for you, you may be able to redeem it or get it for fair market value. You have to be able to finance it. So there's two ways that the redemption is done. And one is if there's more equity than your exemption, and the other is if there's way more debt than your exemption. Now, something else you can do is reaffirm. Your lender is going to want you to reaffirm, and they will tell you that the advantage of a reaffirmation is that if you reaffirm, they will continue to tell the credit reporting agencies that you are making your payments, and that will help you rebuild your credit, and that is absolutely true. What they don't tell you, though, is that doing a reaffirmation takes that item out of the protection of the bankruptcy court. And if something terrible happens to it, like burns up with no insurance, or merely that you wind up losing your job and you can't pay for it, you are still on the hook for the full amount of that loan. The other thing that you can do is retain and pay. And in retain and pay, they are not going to report to the credit reporting agencies, but it stays in the protection of the bankruptcy court. And in the protection of the bankruptcy court, if you need to let go of it, you can let go of it. So for the most part, I always recommend retain and pay, not reaffirm. And the reaffirmation agreement has to be processed by the court. It has to be done within 60 days of the creditors meeting. And it's simply a fairly complex process that I don't recommend for most people. There are exceptions. One exception is that some credit unions, some banks, make it part of their original agreement that if you don't reaffirm, they can come take the vehicle from you. And so sometimes it's just absolutely necessary to reaffirm if you want to keep that car. I think that's about it.